Tracking mileage can be useful in a couple of ways. Most importantly, so you can get reimbursed by your customers when working on their jobs. And you can deduct the miles you put on your company vehicle in the course of doing business as an expense to reduce your taxes. But that requires documentation, which QuickBooks can help provide. And this video covers how to track mileage. Whether the miles you put on your company vehicle are billable or non-billable, you should keep track so you can deduct the mileage from your taxes. If your customers will be reimbursing you, they expect you to keep accurate records, as do our pals at the IRS. To track mileage, you need to add a company vehicle, set the mileage rate, and record the miles driven. The company uses the truck mostly when doing business, so they need to add that truck to the vehicle list to track its mileage. So we go to the List menu, choose Customer and Vendor Profile Lists, and choose Vehicle List. And we need to add the truck to this list, so go to Vehicle, New. And type a name, and we'll type truck. The description is optional, and you could put anything in there, for example, the year, model, make, insurance policy number, VIN number, license plate number, but I'm going to leave it as is and just click OK. So we can close the vehicle list. And next we set the mileage rate. You need to keep up with the IRS mileage rates to take advantage of the latest rates. So you'll need to check the IRS government website to get the latest rates, which change frequently. To enter the rates, go to the Company menu and choose Enter Vehicle Mileage, and click Mileage Rates. So click the calendar to choose the effective date, and this rate went into effect January 1st, 2013. And click in the rate field and type the rate, which was 0.565. 56.5 cents a mile. Okay, click Close. Let's close the Enter Vehicle Mileage window, and we'll need to open the Items list. If you want to be reimbursed by your customers for mileage, you need to create a mileage item, and that will be an Other Charge type. So go to the Item menu and choose New. And for the type, choose Other Charge. And let's give it a name, Mileage. And even though the charge is reimbursable, we won't select this checkbox because mileage isn't an actual expense. You wouldn't use an expense account to track physical miles. So all we need to do is type the mileage rate in the Amount field. And this rate can be the exact IRS mileage rate or a different rate that you choose. Whatever rate you enter, it will be multiplied by the actual number of miles that you enter on the invoice. So I'm going to round it up a bit and do 60 cents. From the Account menu, we'll choose the Income account to track reimbursable expenses. So let's add a new mileage reimbursable account. So click Add New, and we can call it Reimbursable Mileage, and make it a subaccount of the Reimbursement Income account we created in a previous video. Click Save and Close. And click OK to save the Other Charge item for mileage. So you use the mileage item when you invoice a customer for mileage. The Income account tells QuickBooks where to track the income you receive. Let's go ahead and close the item list. Every time you use a company vehicle, you can track the mileage to get reimbursed by a customer or to log miles even when not billable. So to do that, go to the Company menu and choose Enter Vehicle Mileage. And we're recording the mileage Boswell used going to the fountain installation job. So we'll click Truck. And the customer and job was Conway Salisa, install 2 fountains. Click in the trip start date and choose January 21st, 2013. And for the trip end date, we'll choose January 23rd, 2013. Next, you can enter the odometer start and odometer end readings, and QuickBooks figures out the total miles for you. If you forgot to jot down the readings, you can just type the total number of miles in the total miles field. But keep in mind, though, that your friendly IRS auditor really likes to see odometer readings. So here, the start was 6545.1, and the end was 6570.8. And when you press Tab, QuickBooks figures out the total miles. For the item, choose the mileage item we just created. And make sure that the billable checkbox is checked. We'll leave the class unassigned, and if you wanted to add notes about the reason for the mileage, you could enter them here. But we're going to just click Save and Close. The lab for this chapter will explain how to add mileage charges on an invoice. But before we do that, let's take a couple minutes to look at the mileage reports. So go to Reports, Jobs, Time, and Mileage, and there are these 4 mileage reports. The Mileage by Vehicle Summary report shows the total miles and mileage expense for each vehicle, and this would be useful at tax time. The Mileage by Vehicle Detail shows each trip made for each vehicle and includes the trip end date, the total miles for the trip, the mileage rate, and the mileage expense. The Mileage by Job Summary shows the total miles driven by customer or job, regardless of the vehicle used. And the Mileage by Job Detail shows the miles grouped by customer or job, and then shows the individual mileage records. So we've created billable time and billable mileage. Next, we can invoice the customer.